नानारत्ननिबद्धमूलपिटप श्रीयुक्तवृन्दावने राधाकृष्णमहर्निशं प्रभजतौ जीवार्थदौ जौ बुधा वन्दे रूपसनातन रघुजगन् श्रीजीव गोपालक कृष्ण कीर्तन गान नर्तन परौ प्रेमामृताम्बनिधि कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण
Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to the Sankirtan mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And all glories to the assembled devotees at the Prabhupada Disciples Association, Hare Krishna Society, established in 2002 as an opportunity for people to hear the truth about Guru Tattva. Who is Guru and who we should follow. And we want to thank everyone globally who are attending these classes, readings and discussions. And we are spreading this truth everywhere through this adaptation of the media, social media, in this time of the Kali Yuga, 2024. And it's a great facility. It really is. And we're seeing Krishna Katha, amazing results. Yes, we are. Because you have to judge an action by its results. And a lot of people, of course, they want to minimize others due to enviousness, due to false ego. And in this way, they feel important. Oh, I'm so smart. I'm so intelligent. I know everything. I've understood the Shastra. I'm so advanced. Okay, you're entitled to that, yes. But the fact of the matter is, a devotee is always humble. He knows, or she knows, that it's only by Krishna's arrangement that we get awarded devotional service. Yes, devotional service. Krishna Katha is the secret of making advancement in Krishna consciousness. Thank you. Krishna Katha is so serious and so enthusiastic. I really admire him as a devotee. Along with all of us, we really appreciate your input. And I've got many comments last week about your insights into the moon landing. Yes, because a lot of people are brainwashed. Oh yeah, they're so brainwashed. So crazy. Actually, most people are insane. They're thinking, well, I'm not crazy, but that, of course, is their opinion, and that's based on false ego, and they think, oh, I know. Well, you don't know. You just think you know, and you can live in that illusion. But Krishna Kata, his father, was working on the moon landing project, and he has firsthand information that it was a fraud. And he explained it to us so nicely. And you can go back and listen to that program. It's on our YouTube channel, Prabhupada Disciples YouTube channel, Hare Krishna Society. We have over 275 programs. And we're going to be adding new programs. We're getting a lot of suggestions that people want to learn some basic formats, how to practice Krishna consciousness at home. And this is very important because this is a Namhata program. It's not based on the institutionalization of an organization, but on the motivation of the individuals in this group that want to preach and spread the truth about Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya for the benefit of other conditioned souls, and they're practicing it on their own. Yes, they are. Very interesting concept. Of course, it's very common for people that are serious about something to take up a discipline and a focus that enables them to make advancement in whatever field they're in. Yes, it requires discipline. And everybody that Prabhupada, he wanted them to preach to others. Of course he did. And when he says the term, oh, everybody become guru, it doesn't mean you get up on the Vyasasana and become Diksha Guru. That is a total misunderstanding of what Prabhupada was trying to say. He was trying to tell us, yes, learn what you have learned from the bona fide spiritual master, namely him, and then repeat it to others. Then you become guru. Not Diksha Guru, you accept everybody's karma. That's a disaster, especially for fallen souls like us. All of a sudden we start, and look what's happened. Just see how people have been impacted by the karma that they've incurred because of accepting other people's karma. Can you imagine? Krishna Kata, you take 50,000 disciples and you bundle that karma and put it on your shoulders? How you're going to suffer? And someone says, well, that's not possible. Well, that's because you can't see, even in the reality of this modern age, that people that do that become disfigured. They become crippled. They suffer dementia. They get MS. All kinds of afflictions come. They're not as serious as the punishment that these people will receive after they leave this body. Oh yeah, and that is serious. If you read Srimad Bhagavatam in the 5th canto, you find out about what the hellish planets are. Oh my God, the hellish planets. It's bad enough here on this planet. Can you imagine, everyone, how bad it could be at the time of death if you've offended the pure devotee by your material ambitions, profit, adoration, and distinction? What kind of karma you'll get by making trading Krishna for profit, adoration, and distinction? Serious. And yet this truth, this mistruth, misinformation is being spread by others, and this is leading them and their followers in the wrong direction. Oh yes. So, and we're finding out, and I want to thank everyone, by the way, Bhakti Rupesh, we want to thank everyone that's attending these programs on their reaching out to us and thanking us. Oh yes, it's amazing how many people are appreciating this opportunity to associate with devotees and hear the bona fide scriptures from Srila Prabhupada in his unedited books, unchanged books. Yes, and this week, I know for myself personally, and I know all of you are preaching, I know all of you are spreading the message to others, just like Bhakta Jad has these wonderful cards, and we should do them in France. We've got to figure out how to spread it in other languages, but nonetheless, here it is. It's a free class on self-improvement and mental health. I thought that would ring in people's minds since most people are disturbed. Oh, I need mental health. Yeah, you do. You're sick in the head. Now that's a little bit harsh, but I'm just saying, everybody's more or less insane. But we're noticing also, not only amongst new people that are coming, Yashodanandana Prabhu, brand new people that are being interested, there's a lot of people, Krishna Katha, that have been involved with the mission over the last 20 years. I had a call from a devotee from Slovakia this week. And he told me his whole story, his transition from, this place to that place, this guru to that guru, up and down like a yo-yo, up and down on the roller coaster of life. And when he started to watch our classes, he felt some peace, that he had come to a place in the material world where he could find the truth being spoken by the membership of this group. And now he's a regular attender of the program. He attends on the YouTube channel, Hare Krishna Society. So you don't see him on the screen here because of time differences, global time differences, but he's coming to the classes. And I had another lady call me from in America, and she told me, her life experience through the different gurus that she had been exposed to. She was more of a new person into the movement, and how she had been abused mentally by that group. Abused, not good. It's called religious persecution. Are you familiar with that, Jad? Religious persecution. They punish you if you don't accept what they say. If you're a dissenter, you're punished, you're defamed, you're banished, your character is assassinated, and you're stopped with the ability to go serve. And then she was devastated. Oh my God. She was so habituated, Krishna Katha, to her life of serving Prabhupada and Krishna in these so-called temples that she lost her focus and became despondent. And then all of a sudden she found these programs online by chance, somehow or other. And in this way, she's now attending every week on the YouTube channel and feeling some peace of mind in Krishna consciousness. Oh, look at how beautiful that is. So this movement is spreading. We also have another devotee in Kansas City, a wonderful lady. I think she's on the screen now. And she told me that she's with us for the rest of her life. Committed. Not submitted. She's committed to the mission of protecting Prabhupada's legacy. And that is our business here. I'm going to finish up. I wanted to remind everyone that we will be doing a Guru Puja, a book release, again online, this year, and it's coming up. So if you want to submit your offering, And incidentally, one of these ladies that called, she's a real leader, actually. She was a leader in the particular center she was in, and she was rejected by them because they considered her too enthusiastic. She sent her Vyas Puja to another group that she's was part of, maybe, and they rejected it. They said, "Oh no, it's too long. You're writing too long." She was explaining to me, I was compelled to write a few pages to express my feelings to Srila Prabhupada in this service of sending a Vyas Puja offering, and it was rejected. "Oh no, we can't accept it, it's too long." I told her, I said, "Write what you want, send it to us, we'll accept it as the format that we're creating to submit to our Guru, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Yes, we want you to express your feelings. And not only that, we want other people to see how you're so committed to Prabhupada's mission, and you're prepared to do anything you can to help it in the service of bona fide disciples of his mission. Here at the Prabhupada Disciples Association and the Hare Krishna Society. Oh yes. So this Vyasa Puja offering, this book, please, all of you, you can begin to script your offering. It can be short, it can be long, whatever it is. We will be more than honored to accept it and post it on the Hare Krishna Society. We have a book from last year that's posted there. And it'll be part of this new Vyas Puja offering for 2024. So very important. And remember, this Guru Tattva principle is the foundation. This understanding of Prabhupada living in his Vani incarnation with all of us is the foundation of our Namhata preaching program, Bhakta Jad. That you read the books, you watch Prabhupada lectures, and with many of you, you're taking reference from our 3 classes a week, Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. It's only 4.5 hours out of your time. I think there's 168 hours a week in the 7-day period. So out of that 4.5 hours a week, it's quite exciting actually. And I think that those that taste the opportunity to associate with others who are focused on this feel some ecstasy. And this is what it is. There's a taste in it, a spiritual taste. And they get excited. A lot of people, they don't have the time. They're too busy taking care of this bag of bones and flesh and stool and pus and urine. Oh, well, that's nasty. Well, it's not. The words are nasty. It's the reality. Look at this thing. It's pathetic. Look at these fingers. If Krishna Katha, if you just fall down and break one, you'll be in pain for weeks and months. And we're like, oh, I love my body. Okay. Along with every other stupid person on this earth. You know, you can't fix stupid. Remember that, Krishna Katha. And you know, you can only ignore it. So we're going to go here. Let's move forward. We're having a wonderful time with this. You know, I talked to Yashodanandana Prabhu about this, and he really is enthusiastic for the diary part of the program, and it's funny. You know, you're reading it. We read it. This is our 3rd time through, and because we have new people coming all the time and attending these programs, I thought it would be valuable, we do, that we continue to repeat the message that's coming to Prabhupada through the Jaladuta diaries. Oh yeah. And so it's ever fresh for us too, even to read it again for the third time in the last year and a half. And there's 2 sections to it, and we'll go ahead and start. If Rupesh, you want to put up the first, Bhakti Rupesh, put up the first picture, please, of the diaries. The Jaladuta diaries, are you there? Yeah, there we go. So there it is. Look at that beautiful boat. And we had some nice explanations about Jaladuta from the last program. And there's the ship, the wonderful ship that brought the bona fide spiritual master to America. And we're going to read now from the, there we go. Look at those pages that I'm sending over every class to the people that are co-hosting our program, and we want to thank them very much, our team. And we're looking for more people to help us with this, by the way. So if you're interested, if you're good at technology or you understand the Zoom technology and you can be a part of this, please get a hold of us and we'll give you a day that you can help us put these shows on and show all the scriptures and references that we create for everyone to study and learn and get a proper understanding of this philosophy. So here's the introduction. Srila Prabhupada was instructed by his spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, to preach Krishna consciousness to the English-speaking peoples. Yes, toward this end, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami published the first Back to Godhead magazine in 1944. And I have a copy of those magazines, by the way. We can show them in future programs. He also began to write translations and commentaries on Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and other Vedic literatures. In 1965, after publishing 3 volumes of Srimad Bhagavatam, these Delhi versions, and we were reprinting these and distributing them. That's coming up in the next couple of months. He appointed the owner of India steamship navigation company, Sumati Mukherjee, who I had the pleasure of being personally interviewed at her estate in Bombay, for a complimentary passage to the United States. After considering his request for some time, she finally agreed and issued him the ticket. Okay. In the port of Calcutta on August 13th, 1965, carrying only a small suitcase, an umbrella, and a bag of dry cereal, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, as he was known at the time, climbed up the steep gangway onto a cargo ship named the Jaladuta. The ensuing journey presented considerable hardship. Srila Prabhupada wrote of some seasickness. And on the 13th day of the voyage, during the passage through the Arabian Sea, he suffered a massive heart attack. He was concerned that he might pass away, but in his uneasy sleep that night, he had a dream, a vision. Lord Krishna appeared. The Lord was in an open boat. Along with his other incarnations, Krishna was rowing the boat and the boat was pulling Srila Prabhupada's ship with a rope. Krishna was smiling at Srila Prabhupada and was pulling the ship all the way to America. Srila Prabhupada did not write about this occurrence in his diary, but simply drew a line through those troubled days, declaring that he had passed over a great crisis in the struggle between life and death. Years later, he related these events to his followers. Amazing, everyone. After the crisis, Srila Prabhupada regained his strength and recommenced his entries in the diary after the ship docked in Port Said, Egypt. Then after crossing the Mediterranean Sea, the Jaladuta passed through the Straits of Gibraltar and into the Atlantic Ocean. Uncharacteristically, the ocean appeared like a placid lake. The Atlantic crossing was so effortless that the ship's captain remarked that he had never seen anything like it. After a total of 35 days, correction for me, I said 31 days, the ship at last berthed in Boston at the Commonwealth Pier on September 17th at 5:30 a.m. The next day, the Jaladuta continued to New York, where Srila Prabhupada disembarked onto a lonely Brooklyn pier to begin his mission in the West. In our presentation of the Jaladuta diary, we have also included photographs of noteworthy memorabilia: Srila Prabhupada's passport and his visa, the ticket issued by Scindia Steam Navigation Company, the sponsorship form of Gopal Agarwal, and handwritten copies of the 2 poems that Srila Prabhupada wrote upon arriving in America: Prayers to the Lotus Feet of Lord Krishna, Amakane Bhagavad Dharma. Some of Srila Prabhupada's descriptions of the Jaladuta diary from his conversations and letters are also reproduced here. They have appeared in previous archival publications and may be found in entirety in the computer database of Srila Prabhupada's complete works. So you can go ahead, everyone, and study these things at your leisure. We offer many thanks to Bali Mardan Das, Sundarakara Das, Maya Priya Devi Dasi, and Janava Devi Dasi, who did the color illustrations, and to the many other devotees whose efforts have made this publication a reality. There is a sequel to the diary in New York. In January of 1966, Srila Prabhupada began recording another diary they've called The Beginning, which spans the period from January to October of that year. This diary is not as well known to the devotees as the Jaladuta diary, but it covers the time when Prabhupada was guest of Srila Prabhupada of D.R. Mishra up until the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, ISKCON, was incorporated in the first Back to Godhead magazine, was published by Srila Prabhupada's early Western followers. And by the way, the Back to God magazine at one time reached a distribution of 500,000 copies a month. And now it's disappeared. I wonder why. We also intended to present this second diary as an offering for the Srila Prabhupada Centennial. Srila Prabhupada is the preeminent Acharya of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya of our time. I wish people would read that and practice it. His voyage on the Jaladuta 30 years ago marked the beginning of a spiritual revival, and the 12 years after his arrival in America saw the Hare Krishna movement spread to major cities worldwide. Just see what's happened since then. For millennia, the Vedic tradition has been hidden behind the boundaries of India and within Sanskrit and the vernacular languages. In a world immersed in materialistic ethos, Srila Prabhupada revealed the wisdom of this timeless philosophy, the Bhaktivedanta archives. So, interesting introduction. And we'll move forward with the chanting of Jaya Radha Madhava and the readings and discussions of today's Bhagavad Gita as it is by His Grace Yashodanandana Prabhu in California. All glories to the Sankirtan movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Haribol.
Sai. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय, रामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद से अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गौ गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिवर्धन की जय, वृंदावन धाम की जय, नवद्वीप धाम की जय, स्वामी तो भक्तवृंद की जय, गंगा माई की जय, जमुना माई की जय, तुलसी देवी की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, स्वामी तो भक्तवृंद की जय। All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. Thank you very much.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. O my Lord, Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you from Srimad Bhagavatam 1:1:1. Narayanam namaskritya naram cheva narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayat. One should utter the means of conquest, Srimad Bhagavatam and Srimad Bhagavad Gita, after offering respectful obeisances, 1. To the personality of Godhead Narayana, 2. To the Narayana Rishi, who is the supermost human being, 3. To the Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, then 4. To Srila Vyasadeva, the author, from Srimad Bhagavatam 1-4. Welcome everyone to this reading and discussion, sometimes called a class, on the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. As Srila Prabhupada started this standard in 1966 in February in New York, USA, we'll be reading a few selected verses that Prabhupada introduced in the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita. These Sanskrit verses, as reflected on the screen, we will be repeating as follows. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shigurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam. When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada who has established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahaguna Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master and unto the feet of all Vaishnavas. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami, along with his elder brother Sanatan Goswami, as well as Raghunath Dasa and Raghunath Bhatta, Gopala Bhatta, and Srila Jiva Goswami. I offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, along with Advaita Acharya, Gadadhar, Srivas, and other associates. I offer my respectful obeisances to Srimati Radharani and Sri Krishna, along with their associates Sri Lalita and Vishaka. E Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Oh, my dear Krishna, you are the friend of the distressed and the source of creation. You are the master of the gopis and the lover of Radharani. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. I offer my respects to Radharani, whose bodily complexion is like molten gold, and who is the queen of Vrindavana. You are the daughter of King Vrishabhanu, and you are very dear to Lord Krishna. Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanibhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desire trees, and who are full of compassion for the fallen souls. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Brinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Welcome everyone to this reading and discussion on Bhagavad Gita. Today we will be reading from chapter 11, text number 21 and 22. All synonyms, translations, and purports by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, also known as the Krishna Consciousness Movement. We are reading from chapter 11, text 21. This is a different chapter, Rupesh. Chapter 11, text 21. Amihitvam surasanga vishanti kechid bitaha pranjalayo grinanti swastiti maharishi siddhasanga stuvanti tvam stutibihi pushkalabihi. Ami, all those. He, certainly. Chapter 11, text number 21. Sura Sangha, groups of demigods. Vishanti, entering. Kechit, some of them. Bhita, out of fear. Pranjalayaha, with folded hands. Grinanti, offering prayers unto. Swasti, all peace. Iti, thus. Uktva, speaking like that. Maharishi, great sages. Siddhi Sangaha, perfect sages. Stuvanti, singing hymns. Tvam, unto you. Stutibihi, with prayers. Pushkalabihi, Vedic hymns. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. All the demigods are surrendering and entering into you. They are very much afraid, and with folded hands, they are singing the Vedic hymns. Purport. The demigods in all the planetary systems feared the terrific manifestation of the universal form and its glowing effulgence, and so prayed for protection. Text number 22. Rudraditya vasavo yecha sadya Vishveshvino marutaschosmapascha Gandharva yaksha sura siddha sangha Vikshanti tvam vismitascheva sarve Rudra, manifestations of Lord Shiva. Adityaha, the Adityas. Vasavaha, the Vasus. Ye, all those. Cha, and. Sadhyaha, the Sadhyas. Vishwe, the Vishvadevas. Ashvino, the Ashvini Kumaras. Marutaha, the Maruts. Cha, and. Ushmapaha, the forefathers. Cha, and. Gandharva, the Gandharvas. Yaksha, the Yakshas. Asura Siddha, the demons and the perfected demigods. Sangha, assemblies. Vikshante, are seeing. Tvam, you. Vismitaha, in wonder. Cha, also. Eva, certainly. Sarve, all. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. The different manifestations of Lord Shiva, the Adityas, the Vasus, the Sadhyas, the Vishwadevas, the two Ashvins, the Maruts, the forefathers and the Gandharvas, the Yakshas, Asuras, and all perfected demigods are beholding you in wonder. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Srila Prabhupada, several times in his preaching, especially in India, would refer to the Bhagavad Gita as it is, being the authorized version of the Bhagavad Gita. Whenever people asked him whether Prabhupada had been able to do some magic or had some special power, Prabhupada would say, I simply presented the Bhagavad Gita as it is. Now, why is this so important? Because everybody knows this. Everybody has heard this. From beginning to end, Prabhupada was explaining how he was presenting the Bhagavad Gita exactly as it was spoken by Arjuna, by Lord Krishna to Arjuna. Interestingly, the other day, I got a very nice notice from Bhakta Jad in France. He sent me a very nice little video that he produced in French. Qui est Dieu? Who is God? It's a very brief little video, in which he explains how Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And it's very interesting because it brings people in touch with the reality of what we see in the material world. So many wonderful living beings, animals, human beings, so many different manifestations of Krishna's energy. Krishna has so many different wonderful manifestations, but ultimately he is the Supreme. And this is what we're seeing in these verses in the Bhagavad Gita, that the great demigods who are very powerful, Prabhupada explains in the Srimad Bhagavatam that these demigods, many of them can go from one planet to another without any airplane, just by mystic power, by siddhi, mystic siddhi, yoga siddhi. Oh, Bhaktajad is presenting, he's given the link to the video. Very nice. So these demigods are very powerful agents of Krishna. You know, what is their role? What do they do? What is their function? It is not difficult to understand. They are servants, always, in all circumstances, doing different services for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is very important because we see in the material world, everyone is trying to be number one. The Lord of all I survey, Prabhupada identified this disease, that everyone is trying to control, everyone is trying to present themselves as very knowledgeable, very learned, although they are very, very small, insignificant, they are thinking themselves very, very important. Prabhupada used to quote often a very brief Sanskrit verse called Atmavan Manyate Jagat, that everyone is thinking in the universe according to themselves. And this is the disease of the conditioned souls. And now, but here we see that these great personalities, powerful personalities in higher planets, they're not bewildered. They're offering their obeisances. They're offering their obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead in this text 21 and 22. This is very important. Those who know the position of Krishna never misunderstand the difference between Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu, Narayana, and the demigod. Yastu Narayanam Devam Brahmarudrati Devate Samatvena Viksheta Sapashandi Bhavedruvam. That one who thinks that all these powerful demigods like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Lord Indra, Vayu, all these demigods, if they're equal to Narayana, immediately he becomes an offender, a pashandi. This is very important because there is a common misconception, especially in India, that all the gods are all the same, that if you worship any god or demigod, you will achieve the same result. But that is not a fact. This is not what Krishna taught in the Bhagavad Gita. And this is a very important, crucial, fundamental point of our philosophy. Although we don't disrespect any demigods, we show respect to these powerful personalities. We do not equate. We do not accept that they're all the same. Krishna himself in the Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 7, Text 7, Matta Parataram Nanyat Kinchirasti Dhananjaya. This is very important. I saw recently a posting from a god sister. She was making some remarks that there are some devotees in the movement that can quote Sanskrit and Bengali very easily, but they have no love. So the immediate question that came to my mind, what is love? How did Srila Prabhupada describe love? How does the Chaitanya Charitamrita describe love. What is the difference between lust and love? Atmendriya pritibancha dare kamanam. Krishnendriya pritibancha dare premanam. That the desire to satisfy one's own senses is lust. And the desire to satisfy the senses of Krishna, that is love. And Rupa Goswami, in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, also in the Upadeshamrita, has described how to develop that love. Dadati pratigranati guhyam akyati prichati. That by exchange, confidential exchange of gifts, by revealing one's mind confidentially, bhumte bhojayate cheva shadvidam pritilakshanam. That love developed by the exchange of these 6 practices. Offering some foodstuff, receiving some foodstuff. So love has to be done, understood, according to the instruction of the acharyas. It is not merely some sentiment. It is not simply some emotional outpour. That is nice. To have some sentiment and emotion is good. That's a good start. But one has to understand according to the instruction and the teachings of the acharya. I was reading recently a lecture where Srila Prabhupada was explaining that the principles of religion are established by the 12 Mahajans, that even the demigods cannot establish the principle of religion. That this dharmasya tattva, the truth, the essential principle of spiritual life or religion, that is established by the personality of God. And that is what the Bhagavad Gita is, to give everybody a chance to understand who is God, what are the living entities, what is our position, and how do we serve him. Srila Prabhupada one time remarked that so many people, they say, oh, God is great. God is very great. But the real question is, how great is he? What does he do? Where does he live? What are his activities? What are his qualities? To understand the personality of Godhead, Krishna. That is the essence of all spiritual life. Because if one says God is great, but we do not know what is God, where does he live, what does he do, then how do we love God? Loving God means also to show mercy, kindness to all living entities. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in his song, glorifying Lord Nityananda, Nadya Guru Dhrume, Nityananda Mahajan, he described that this giving of the name of Krishna, Sarva Dharmasar, this is the essence of all spiritual religious practices. Krishna Nam Sarva Dharmasar. That is why Prabhupada called it the Hare Krishna movement. That we are giving the name of Krishna, the teachings of Krishna, the mercy of Krishna, explaining the pastimes of Krishna. That's what Prabhupada did with the Krishna book, explaining the transcendental activities of Krishna, the Supreme Lord. And in this way, one can start on the path back home, back to Godhead. And one should not be proud, even if one is a so-called senior devotee or an older devotee. Well, that is very nice. That is your good fortune. But we see in the Nectar of Devotion how Srila Prabhupada explains that usually people cannot take to this process of bhakti unless they've done this in a previous life, in a purva janma. So we do not know what austerities or service or surrender anybody may have done in the past life. Somebody may have been very, very advanced, and due to some mistake, they had to take their births again. But we cannot judge simply by age of a person or the fact that somebody was initiated before somebody else, that this automatically means they have a higher understanding or higher knowledge. No, that is not the criteria. The criteria is surrender, devotion, and proper knowledge. We read the other day from Chaitanya Charitamrita that even though one may remain constantly with the spiritual master, if one does not understand, if one is not enlightened by the knowledge given by the spiritual master, he cannot understand things as they are. And the first point about the knowledge from the spiritual master is don't change the knowledge. Don't change the teachings. Don't distort the teachings. That is extremely important. Foolish persons and whimsical persons who've taken upon themselves to change the teachings, change the books. This is a display how they have not properly heard from the Acharya. Acharyavan Purusho Veda. In the Chandogya Upanishad, it is described that if one has heard from the Acharya, submissively heard, then everything will be understood. And why is it that some people don't seem to understand, although they think they're very, very experienced or very senior? We see the distortions. We see the manipulation. We see the changing of the philosophy. Prabhupada was always worried about that. In 1970, I was in Los Angeles when Prabhupada first established the BBT, the GBC. And I had the occasion to speak with one of Prabhupada's servants, personal servants. And I asked him, what is this idea of a GBC? I says, we know what a temple president is. We know what a Samkirtan leader should be. We know what a treasurer and all of these different positions that Prabhupada had established. But what is this new position? And he explained that Prabhupada said that this is meant to preserve the original and pure teachings of Prabhupada after Prabhupada departs. Now, this is a very important point because we're seeing many persons who have taken upon themselves to interpret on a basis of their physical proximity or physical association with the Acharya, thinking that we know better than you. We were senior most than you. But yet we see when we carefully analyze and dissect what they say, there are so many discrepancies, and one should be very careful not to be misled by self-interested person who are only interested in self-aggrandizement. Thank you very much, to whom it may concern. Hare Krishna.
Haribo, thank you very much for that explanation of today's verses and how to properly understand the true meaning of the Bhagavad Gita through the association of the bona fide spiritual master, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who was very humble and polite, presenting this philosophy to the world and not misrepresenting himself in his point of view as anyone special, although he was. And I wanted to read from the Bhagavad Gita introduction, just briefly. On page 3, Rupesh, I think I sent it over to you by text. Have you got it there, Rupesh? Bhagavad Gita is also known as Gita Upanishad. It is the essence of Vedic knowledge and one of the most important Upanishads of Vedic literature. Of course, there are many commentaries in English on the Bhagavad Gita, and one may question the necessity for another one. This present edition can be explained in the following way. Recently, an American lady asked me to recommend an English translation of Bhagavad Gita. Of course, in America, there are so many editions of Bhagavad Gita available in English. But as far as I've seen, not only in America, but also in India, none of them can be strictly said to be authoritative. Because in almost every one of them, the commentator has expressed his own opinions without touching the spirit of Bhagavad Gita as it is. And as it is, this spirit, I'm going to go ahead and just comment now. As it is, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not anything else, nor any other interpretation. So, this is what Prabhupada presented to us. Who is Krishna? And there are a lot of different misunderstandings of this based on personal motivation of others. It's like Prabhupada said, do not make a trade for Krishna. Do not go into business where you become a preacher. And in this way, you can have a nice business. No. You have to present Krishna properly. And Prabhupada did that because behind his explanation, there was a lifetime of devotion from him to the service of Krishna as his pure devotee, as it manifested further in his work to spread Krishna consciousness by personal example. So this is the potency of a devotee, that he does not preach by precept. Nilesh Sharma, he doesn't preach by precept. He's not a scholar. He's a practitioner. This discipline of a devotee, his commitment personally to this process, is the basis of how he develops vijnanam, as we talked about earlier, realization. Not simply acting or pretending to be advanced, but is internally aware by the mercy of Prabhupada and Krishna, Chaitya Guru, within the heart of what the reality of this mystery of the material world is, and how to rise out of it, how to understand that Krishna, the absolute truth, is given to us by Krishna himself and his bona fide representative, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. There are so many translations of the Gita, but not with purports to guide the students like we have from the bona fide spiritual master. And the bona fide spiritual master is also Krishna. Very interesting understanding we must have of how the spiritual master is Krishna, but is not Krishna, but the representative of Krishna. So this is something that we all should endeavor, not become confused by this. Like some devotees, these neophytes that joined early in the movement, perpetrated this philosophy that Prabhupada was God. And Yashoda may comment on this pastime. And Prabhupada objected to that, never to say that. Even though he's the bona fide representative, and for us, equal to Krishna, there is a difference. The bona fide spiritual master is also Krishna. Is he explaining in detail who Krishna is and to how to unfold the mystery of Krishna consciousness to the conditioned souls, his disciples. We are all in illusion. And in the Gita, to get out of this comatose state, it's a tough thing, very hard. It may take many lifetimes, or it could be in any moment, but it depends on each individual. Especially with our group, we're interested in people that are looking for Quality, not quantity. Quality people. We are interested in quality people. People that are really genuinely serious about this matter, Vijay Pandit. Not some kind of people that are looking for a guru so that they can get a good position or get a good job, especially nowadays. In one of these movements, in the main movement that Prabhupada created, they pay salaries. You want a good job? Compromise. Become a good speaker. Become a good kirtan leader. Become a manager. We'll give you a job. I heard that they're paying in England for the president 100,000 euros a year. That's not bad, eh, Prabhu? Get rich. Well, not rich, but get by. Being a president of a ISKCON temple, you'll get paid. I know this for a fact, that my son, Abhicharan Das, he had a best friend. And this was years ago, absolutely years ago, maybe 25 years ago. And he was preaching to his teenage friends, and a couple of them became devotees. Oh, yeah. I gave one of the members, or one of his friend, a nickname, Brajadam. I wanted to do that to protect him from ISKCON, because if you go to the ISKCON temple and you've got Bhakta in front of your name and not a spiritual name, they'll try to attack you. Oh, let me make you a disciple. And this is eventually what happened. The fellow in Toronto that was running the mission became a guru, and he came down to Hamilton, and he, would go over to this person's house, not come and visit me, even though I made him a devotee in a relative sense. I sold him his first Gita. We were on a traveling Sankirtan in 1972, but he, of course, was more interested in himself and his position as elected guru. So he went and cultivated this fellow, and eventually gave him some kind of initiation. I forget, he changed the name. And this fellow went to New Vrindavan and became a very good devotee there. And as a result, he was given a job as vice president of New Vrindavan. So Brajadam evolved up to become Braja Kishore or something else like that, the fellow gave him that name. And he got a job. I think he was getting $45,000 US to be the vice president of New Vrindavan. And I went down some years ago with Subhuti, and my friend Drupada, we went to visit New Vrindavan. I got a chance to see the devotees. I had a reluctance to even go there because of my bad experiences with Keith Ham, Kirtananda. Extremely horrific experiences with him. It's demoralizing, actually. Like many of us, we've all been victimized by these fake gurus, pathetically, at least, and abused, not physically, but mentally, very abused. And we become affected. I call it the post-ISKCON traumatic experience. Like when you're in the army, you go to war, and then when you come back, they have to treat you because you've gone crazy. A lot of people, like I said, have been demoralized to the point that even some people, Nilesh, have committed suicide because of this corruption that has evolved in this movement. Suicide, so demoralized. We have one devotee who was a Gurukuli, a prominent one. He's reluctant to come to any classes, associate with any devotees. He's our friend, of course. And he's a good person, a very good devotee in a sense. I don't know if he's chanting his rounds, but at the same time, he has this sentiment for Krishna, but totally demoralized. And this is unfortunate because this disease of misrepresenting Prabhupada's teachings to others is also affecting thousands and thousands of people. And they are becoming demoralized when they find themselves in a hole of confusion because of misrepresentation and misinformation being perpetrated by the different people that became associated with this movement and have never really, Nilesh, understood what is the real Guru Tattva system that Prabhupada taught us, and we as a group are sharing with others. Yashodanandana Prabhu, if you could further comment.
You're raising some very important points here. We've touched upon this several times in the past, how misrepresentation of the teachings for personal aggrandizement, for personal agenda has misled so many people. But there's a solution. One can recover. The first thing one has to do is stop hearing from nonsense people. Stop hearing their nonsense explanations of what they think Prabhupada meant or Prabhupada intended or Prabhupada really wanted just because they claimed that they were senior devotees. I've met many new devotees that never met Prabhupada that have a deeper understanding, deeper respect, deeper faith in Srila Prabhupada than many persons who are constantly with Prabhupada. We've seen in our movement so many things being introduced. Somebody complained to me, where did this Kar Puja come from? Where did this Devata worship come from in ISKCON? Prabhupada never introduced that. Prabhupada introduced a movement where worship Krishna with the understanding that when you worship Krishna, all the demigods are automatically worshipped. Just like if you put water on the root of a tree, all the branches, the leaves, the flowers, the fruits, everything is satisfied. You don't have to individually put water on every branch, every leaf, every twig. It doesn't work that way. Prabhupada gave perfect instruction. Simply what we have to do is follow. I was going to read, before we give the floor to Nilesh Prabhu, a very quick conversation that Prabhupada had on the same verse of Bhagavad Gita. This is a morning walk in Bombay on April 5th, 1974. April 5th, 1974. Prabhupada says, Giriraj, translation, although you are one, you are spread throughout the sky, and the planets and all space between. O great one, as I hold this terrible form, I see all the planetary systems are perplexed. Prabhupada, for devotee, that is a terrible form. That is not very pleasing. Therefore, they do not worship the Virata form. They worship Krishna's original Dvibhuja. Dvibhuja Murlidhar Shyamasundar. That is the original form. Dr. Patel, that is what we say. Prabhupada, yes. Dvibhuja Muralidhar Shyamasundar. Venum Kwanantam Aravinda Dalaya Taksham Barahavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam. From Brahma Samhita 530. Archavigraha, they are described in the Vedic literature, but these rascals say that is imagination. They have imagined. The Mayavadis say they have imagined a form of God as Krishna with peacock feather and murli. But that is not the fact. The fact is there in the Vedic literature. So Krishna has got this universal form, but the devotees are not interested with this universal form. But they know that Krishna as universal form. Go on. Prabhupada goes further in the purport. He says, Yastu Narayanam Devam Brahmarudrati Devate Samatvena Viksheta Sapashandi Bhavedruvam. From Madhya Lila Chaitanya Charitamrita 18:116. Narayanam Devam, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, if one makes them on the equal position with such big demigods like Brahma, Rudra, so immediately he become a Pashandi. And now they're comparing with the Daridra. Just see. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Yes, it's an unfortunate situation that people are being misled. And Nilesh Shama in Miami, please, if you could share your insights.
Hare Krishna, Jai Shila Prabhupada. Very interesting class and a few points which I wanted to share with all of you.
Yes.
In the beginning of the class, Vishwakarma Prabhu, you said that somebody accidentally stumbled into our class. You know, I'd like to differ with you on that point. I said, there is nothing which happens accidentally in this material world. If we truly understand Maya Dhakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam, meaning this material world runs under the superintendence of Lord Krishna, whoever has come into the class or will come into the class or leave the class is under his superintendence. Understand this. So whoever we are over here, we are here from purely Krishna's mercy and Srila Prabhupada's mercy. We have come together and we are sharing. Remember,
Yes.
is that nothing happens accidentally or by chance or by luck. You may apply it because we don't understand it in our limited brain. You know, the second part which you were saying is that there are a lot of people who are helping in this class. Yes, they're helping us, but they are helping most importantly is Srila Prabhupada. They are helping most importantly is Sri Krishna because they are helping in propagating the pure message of the Acharya, the one who is interested. Interested in what? In going back home, back to Godhead. Interested in what? In going back to the spiritual sky. This particular class, which was given by Yashodanand Prabhu, is so appropriate that there are so many different manifestations of Rudras. You know, coming from a Hindu background, coming from India, the reason why ISKCON has allowed demigod worship is because they can cater to a larger crowd. If I come in with a mindset that I have always prayed to Lord Ganesha all my life, my father has been dedicated to Lord Ganesha, my grandfather has been dedicated to Lord Ganesha, and then you come to me and say, no, he's not God. Now you're shattering my entire thought process. You're shattering I consider you as attacking me and my heritage. You know, now such people will leave. We are not interested in such people is because they are not true seekers of truth. If you tell me there are 33 crore Devi Devtas, 33 koti, not even crore, 33 koti Devi Devtas, 33 koti Devi Devtas. Now, if you tell me koti means two words, koti means crores and koti means types. And if you look at it, there are 12 types of Aditya, 11 types of Rudra, 8 types of Vasus, and 2 Ashwini Kumars, which comprise the 33 different types of demigods. And if we want to truly understand what it is, I beg to read from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 3, Verse 9. Canto 2, Chapter 3, Verse 9. In fact, if you look at that Srimad Bhagavatam Canto, Chapter 3, from verses 2 to 7, if you look at the translation, it talks about who you should worship, what for what kind of material benediction. It gives you very clear-cut answers. And if you go to this particular one, if you allow me to share my screen, I can do that. If Rupesh
Go
Prabhu
ahead,
cannot do,
please. Go ahead, please.
yes,
Yes.
okay.
Can,
So the host has to allow me to participate, allow me to share my screen. The host.
Yes, the co-host is Rupesh. Rupesh,
If you can allow
please.
me.
Let me try here too. Maybe I can figure it out.
Yeah. Now it is allowed. Now it is
Okay,
allowing.
good. Okay, go
Okay.
ahead, please. Thank you.
So here we
Thank
go.
you. Yes.
So here we go. If you look at text 9, Rajya Kama Manum Devam Nrityam Tva Abhicharan Yajit Kama Kamo Yajit Somam Akama Purusham Param. One who desires domination over a kingdom or an empire should worship the Manus. One who desires victory over an enemy should worship the demons. One who desires sense gratification should worship the moon. But one who desires nothing of material enjoyment should worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I would like to read a little bit from the purport where it
Please.
touches the same thing over here.
Yes.
If you look at
Please.
the purport, one should therefore not desire any sort of material enjoyment by being sensible enough to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The leaders of nonsensical persons are still more nonsensical because they preach openly and foolishly that one can worship any form of demigod and get the same result. This sort of preaching is not only against the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita or those of the Srimad Bhagavatam, but it is also foolish, just as it is foolish to claim that with the purchase of any travel ticket, one may reach the same destination. No one can reach Bombay from Delhi by purchasing a ticket for Baroda. It is clearly defined herein that the persons impregnated with different desires have different modes of worship, but one who has no desire for material enjoyment should worship the Supreme Lord, Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. So, going back to, I'm going to stop the share so we can go back to the original. So going backwards is that if you look at this, why is this demigod? It is convenient. It is easier for me. Oh yeah, you can pray anybody and I can have more followers. Now, this is not the idea. The idea is very clear, is that you will get something out of this if you're truly looking for some spiritual awakening. That is why when you see people who come to this class and they say, oh, I get peace. Why do you get this peace? Have you ever questioned that? Why do people experience this contentment over there? Why? Because we are connecting ourselves on a constitutional level. Jivere Swarup hoy, Nitya Krishna Das. We are connecting to the basic core of ourselves. You see? So that is why how do we come to this point? Surrender. You were talking about Jaladuta diaries and how Srila Prabhupada came to United States. What is this surrender? Imagine going to a complete foreign land where you have nothing but 40 rupees in yourself. You have nothing to offer. You have no material gain whatsoever. Prabhupada has always told us that I have come here to give you something, not to take something from you. So I am not going to compromise. And so let purity be thy force. We need to remember these words of Srila Prabhupada, is that he has come to give us, not to take. So if we call ourselves preachers of Srila Prabhupada, we need to do the same thing. We have not come to take something from anybody, but to give them whatever we can. And that is why we need to stick to the original transcript, stick to the original principles of Srila Prabhupada, and purity will lead us to our final destination. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Well done. Thank you. And the most important thing is quality over quantity. Vijaya Pandit. We are looking for 24 karat gold, not 14 karat gold.
Why do you say that, Prabhuji? Quality over quantity? Bahunam janmanam ante jnanvan mam prapadyante vasudevam sarvamiti samahatma so durlabha. You're going to get it very rarely. That is why we are looking for that quality and not that quantity.
Yes, and actually, Prabhu, I'm realizing when we're associating with so many people globally, and I was mentioning that I spoke to a lady from New Jersey who was telling me about her history. She's East Indian heritage, how deep her commitment to Krishna and Prabhupada is, and how she became infatuated with her relationship with Srila Prabhupada after meeting him in his Vani incarnation. And it's people like this, the quality of them, which is totally inspiring for all of us. And when we associate with our group and we see the quality of the individuals that are with us, it becomes very inspiring. Not depressing, not degrading, not disappointing. And it's a simple thing. When you're in front of greatness, you should be humble. So coming before Srila Prabhupada and Nilesh, it's interesting to note how Srila Prabhupada is just a absolute encyclopedia himself of spiritual understanding. And look at how we're going. You went to a particular verse, a particular purport. There are thousands of verses, tens of thousands of verses, tens of thousands of purports, thousands of letters, thousands of lectures. It's an incredible abundance of information from a pure devotee, representative of Krishna, that has delivered this information to reveal the mystery of spiritual life to all of us. And I wanted to call upon a friend from, also I believe he was in New Jersey, or still is there, Chaitanya Nishringa. If he's possible that his microphone is connected, maybe he could share some insights and thoughts with us today at today's program. Chaitanya Nishringa. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisance. All glory to Prabhupada. Prabhu, I am actually driving right now. So is that okay if you can continue with another devotee?
Yeah, we'll postpone until next time for you, but congratulations on your efforts. I'm hearing so many good things about your sincere effort from others.
Yes,
and,
Prabhu. Thank
congratulations. Yashodanandana Prabhu, if you could further conclude the discussion today.
Well, I believe that the points that have been raised by Nilesh Prabhu are very, very important. Because unless we understand the fundamental points of Krishna consciousness very carefully, it's very difficult to make progress. I was told a story one time by one of Prabhupada's personal servants. When Prabhupada went to Gujarat, in the city of Surat, the entire town came to greet Srila Prabhupada. There were so many people because in India, in many of these houses, you have 2 or 3 stories, and they were throwing flower petals upon Srila Prabhupada in the procession with the devotees. And so many people, the entire town came to greet Srila Prabhupada. So the personal servant of Srila Prabhupada asked Srila Prabhupada afterwards, why is it that in India, this is the land of Lord Rama, Lord Krishna, the Ganges, the Yamuna, all the rivers. So there's so many great acharyas have come here, so many great sadhus, great rishis, great sages. Everything is sacred. But why is it that so many of these people, they don't seem to take this very seriously? And Prabhupada's reply was, that is because in India, almost 99% are contaminated with this Mayavadi idea that all the demigods and Krishna are the same. That's because in the West, you do not have this contamination. Here, it is very prevalent. So this is very important. That's why when we carefully, the Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, between text 21 and 26, Krishna very nicely explained what is the position of the Krishna worshippers, what is the position of the demigod worshippers. And this is very important because we see sometimes that people get very upset. They get very disappointed when they're being told that, no, your worship of demigod will not lead you to Krishna. It is not a fact that worshiping all the demigods and Krishna produces the same result. It is not a fact. This is right there in the Bhagavad Gita. Yajanti madhyajanopi mam. That those who worship me, they come to me. Krishna is referring to himself. Rupesh Prabhu says, Srila Prabhupada says, One who claims to be my devotee is not so. Only excuse me, I'm trying to find this posting by Rupesh. Only a person who claims to be the devotee of my devotee is actually my devotee. So this is a very important point. Very, very important point that devotees have to understand. Because we see practically that very few people correct, because we see this contamination as infiltrated Prabhupada society. That they're advertising openly to worship demigods, promoting different. Oh, here's that text from the Bhagavad Gita. Thank you, Rupesh. Men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods, but my devotee ultimately reach my supreme planet. Devan devayajo yanti madbhakta yanti mamapi. Purport. Some commentators on the Gita say that one who worships a demigod can reach the Supreme Lord, but here it is clearly stated that the worshiper of demigods go to the different planetary systems where various demigods are situated. Just as a worshiper of the sun achieves the sun, or a worshiper of the demigod of the moon achieves the moon. Similarly, if anyone wants to worship a demigod like Indra, he can attain that particular God's planet. It is not that everyone, regardless of whatever demigod is worshipped, will reach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is denied here, for it is clearly stated that the worshippers of demigods go to different planets in the material world, but the devotee of the Supreme Lord goes directly to the supreme planet of the Personality of Godhead. So this is a typical example of Srila Prabhupada's great clarity, great precision in analyzing the text of Bhagavad Gita and clarifying everything very nicely. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Yes, exactly. There is quality and there's quantity. And we are looking for quality in our search for devotees, aspiring devotees, to take up Krishna consciousness and bless them with this opportunity to associate with Prabhupada and his Vani incarnation. In this way, we will get the mercy of Krishna. That is the benefit. When you serve the spiritual master and his mission, then Krishna will bless you. So we're requesting everyone in this group. And Janis Priya, who's not feeling well these days, he's got a problem with diabetes. He would say, if you can just invite one person to come every week, then from 30 we get to 60, from 60 we get to 120. And by this proliferation, this networking process, we can expand this opportunity at least to give people a part of the sadhana program that we're promoting in our Nam-Hata system. This is a Nam-Hata system of spreading Krishna consciousness into every home and household and room, that where people will participate with us. And they learn how to chant their rounds every week. And we're going to be presenting, Nilesh, Yashoda Nandana Prabhu is going to do some further videos for our YouTube channel to give an introduction to people that want to learn how to follow a morning program, how to offer their food, how to chant their rounds, etc., as a system. Because really the classes are for everyone to come to. Whether you're new or old in this process, you come to these classes. That's how we ran the movement back in the 70s. A new person came. Did they go to a special program? No, they came to the class. They studied on their own. They chanted their rounds. They went on Sankirtan. We swept them up in this activity of devotional service. And gradually you pick it up. It's simple for the simple, difficult for the crooked. If you're not really sincere, you won't get it. You have to be sincere of purpose. And then this will self-manifest within you. You'll begin to understand this philosophy through association of Guru, Shastra, and Sadhu. You'll learn that way. That's where we learned back then. That's where you'll learn now. You just pick it up. Get on. It's called get on the bandwagon. If you don't want to get on the bandwagon, jump off and get on another bandwagon. That's your independent free will. Yes.
Chaitanya Narasimha Prabhu is available now.
Oh, good. Good.
Oh, okay. Does he want to speak? Do you want to make a comment, Chaitanya Nrsimha, to
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
finalize the
Hare Krishna
program? Yes,
Hare
Prabhu,
Krishna
go ahead.
Prabhu.
Yes.
Please accept my humble all this Prabhupada. So I was saying, I read, I also wrote in the text too. My personal experience, the last 20 plus years, it has been that, we were always, I always tried treating myself as, I'm a nobody that should listen to senior devotees. And the guidance you get is that, you have to listen to senior devotees, and then they tell you can only go through Srila Prabhupada through us. You have to listen to senior devotees, but there was always you read Srila Prabhupada's books, and Srila Prabhupada says that you read my books, you listen, follow my instructions. That is all we need. The idea that the ISKCON camp, many other senior devotees, even so-called senior disciples, even on the Ritwik side too, I've had personal experience. That's completely nonsense, and then it should not be like that. Srila Prabhupada is personally available to every single person, every single soul in this whole universe, and that is his vani is always there. But if you choose to accept or not, that is up to you. But
Yes.
Prabhupada also says, if you want to be cheated, you'll be guided by cheaters only. So
Exactly.
that instruction always struck to me. I'm like, so if I personally want to cheat people, then I will also be attracted by cheaters as well. And my whole life, my parents always taught me, you don't want to cheat people. You always want to be living by how you want to be treated, how you want to treat yourself, how you want to be treated by others. You should also treat other people similarly, same way. And that is how I always live. So if you're going to be a cheater, you're going to be attracting cheaters as well. So that's the life I've tried to live. And an example is I have a lot of experience. Yeshwananda Prabhu has known about my experience, where very detailed experience that I've had. So that is my experience with Hare Krishna. Sorry it took some extra time.
Thank you very much. Well spoken. And, that is why we are very cautious in institutionalizing this group. We're interested in people like yourself and others here, Bhakta Jad and Vijay Pandit and Nilesh, etc., in growing the Krishna conscious movement in their areas. And if we can help them, we are prepared to do that as part of our master plan to help each other, and in this way selflessly serve the mission. Prabhupada said we should never think we are big devotee, but the servant of the servant of the servant of the big devotee. In this way, you will become great. So thank you very much, everyone. We'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And don't forget the Guru, the Vyas Puja offering book that we're creating. We're looking for your written contribution to it. Last year, I think we have 80 contributions. So hopefully this year we can surpass that, get to 160 contributions to demonstrate to people there are quality people. Yes, it's not everyone is bogus. There are some quality people that are following Prabhupada's mission according to his instructions. and are not interested in being called senior devotee. That's a very misleading title anyway. Senior usually means your age. That's all. You're older. But it's the practice of Krishna consciousness that is the most important aspect of seniority. And that is what we all strive for every day of our lives. All glories to the Sankirtan movement. All glories to the assembled devotees here at this Zoom program on Saturday. And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow, or hearing from you tomorrow, for Srimad Bhagavatam class from the Delhi versions of the Bhagavatam, which we are in the process of getting printed and distributed to all of you and to all people throughout the world. All glories to the Sankirtan movement. Let's move forward with the chanting of Hare Krishna and enjoy just for a few minutes our kirtan today with Prabhupada leading and playing the bongo, because he didn't have any money to buy a bongo or a mridanga, so he used a bongo, and it sounds very good. Prabhupada was an excellent musician. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
let us offer our respectful obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances. We all offer our respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who can fulfill the desires of everyone just like desire trees and who are full of compassion for the fallen souls. Thanks everybody for participating. Just want to make a clarification with regard to the Vyasa Puja. If you send them to my attention or to Vishwakarma Prabhu's attention, we will make everything proper so that it gets published in time. Janmastami and Vyasa Puja this year is in the 3rd week of August, so let us proceed with our various offerings to His Divine Grace, and we'll make a very nice offering. It will be an electronic book. Thanks everybody for participating. We'll see you all tomorrow morning for Srimad Bhagavatam discussion at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, California time, corresponding to 10 o'clock a.m. Florida time and Hamilton, Ontario time. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnava Vangsha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathannitam Tang Sajivam Sadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam